Hello, my name is Matthew, and I'm the inventor of a little device I call a bobbin pin spool adapter, or the bobbin winder spool adapter. Now, I invented this device to solve a problem because I couldn't find something else. And so I made my very first one. I'll show it to you. And then I improved them, and I started not really mass producing them. I still make them one at a time, but I make them in my shop. Let me show you how this works so that when you buy one, you know exactly how to use it. Okay, here's my little bobbin winder spool adapter, and I have two different models. I have a model that fits on Japanese or European made models that are metric. So this will fit on a 6mm bobbin winder pin. This right here is a little bit bigger. It's a 1/4 inch diameter on the inside, or a little bit bigger than that, and it will fit on older USA made models or British made models, like older Singers that have a 1/4 inch bobbin pin or a bobbin winder pin. So the problem I wanted to solve is, how can I transfer and reuse my old thread spools? And so I searched around and said, there's got to be a device that somebody has made that will allow me to use the bobbin winder to adapt it and put a spool on there and rewind thread on there. And I searched around and I couldn't find anything. And then somebody asked me the other day when I was selling one and said, will it fit on different types of spools? I saw that you were fitting them on wood spools, so it'll fit just fine on a wooden spool. You know, here's some different sizes. Here's a big one. But you can also put plastic spools on here. These Gutermans, they fit just fine. But it will fit all kinds of spools. Here's another. Oh, it's a Coates and Clark, and it fits on there just fine too. So you can use any of your old plastic spools that you have. I just so happened that I found some old wooden spools and I kind of like them, and I started using them and using them with my vintage Singer, and that's kind of cool. And here's a couple of them. Here's a big one, and here's a big one. This is a Coates and Clark old wooden spools, and I kind of like them. So it will fit on all kinds of spools. So let me show you how it works. Okay, let me show you how this works. This is my new home, Emery Craft 8000. It's a Janome made model. It has a 6mm shaft for the bobbins. It also has a spring right there that holds the bobbins on when you put them on there, which helps to secure this. The Janome model, I make it so it has a little groove in it. That little groove, if you've bought one of these and you wonder what that groove for, that's for a Faff. A Faff has a little groove like that, and that's used for the particular type of bobbins, and that's how it's secured and held on while you wind it up. So you just insert this on there, and then you take a spool. Let's use this spool right here, and you put it on the top, and it sits down there, and it goes down to the little stop. And I made it this tall so that you can push it over and it doesn't interfere with this. And then for putting thread on there, I'm just going to put some of this black thread on. And you can put it in a cup or hold it or something like that. But and it winds. You have to figure out, you have to know which way it winds. Okay, so all I do is I just take and put a couple winds in there. And then you need to guide it with your finger. If you hold it back about 6 or 8 inches, it will kind of guide itself part of the time. I'm not applying a lot of pressure because I got it going through the bobbin thread tension device. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm not going to fill it all the way full, but you get the idea of just how well that works. So when you get done, you can push that over there and push on there and take that off of there. And take it out and store it. So that's a really nice little device. So I have this other model. It looks exactly the same. It's a little bit bigger. Let me show you which ones I use. Old singers that you have. It'll fit very nicely on that. Don't put it on this way. Put it on with this way like that. Okay. So that one's for old singers and USA made models that have a 1/4 inch pin. So if you have calipers to measure that, that's the perfect way to buy this, because this one fits on 1/4 inch ones. The Janome fits on 6mm pins. If you happen to have a Faff, Faffs have kind of a different type of bobbin pin. They have a little keyway right there. Well, I've made the Janome models that have a 6mm. It has a little key on there, and that key just fits down here. It fits in that little slot so that it will spin on there, because it doesn't have a little spring, so it needs to have that little slot. And I've made that so it'll fit on a Faff, and it works good. You might have to apply a little bit of pressure to the top here as you spin it so it doesn't come off, but then you just click it in place and it will work great. Now, one thing that these won't work on is older singers. Like I have this 301A here. It will fit on, but there's no room here. Okay, that's just a quick demonstration on how these work. If you're interested in purchasing one, you can find a link in the description below. I sell these on my Etsy page that's called Marble Gems. So here, this is the original one that I made. It was a little bit longer. I had more springs on it, and I come to find out I really don't need all those springs on it. It only really needed 2 springs to hold things on there securely. This was a lot of springs, and it really didn't need them. It doesn't hold it any more securely. And then I use a little brass grommet here instead of trying to cut out and make a little copper washer and solder it on here. This is pressed on. But it's basically the same. This was my prototype, and this is the newest, latest model that has a lot of improvements.